Welcome to the Nancy Perspective, where every story is a reminder that life's hardest battles often belong to the kindest hearts. Today, I have a beautiful human sitting next to me. I guess not next to me. She's virtually all the way in the US of A. And I love her accent. She does not believe she has one. But I'm sitting with the incredible Kimberly Smith. I don't know much about her. I'm going to let her share why she does what she does. But in learning and watching her feed on Facebook and TikTok, it's clear she has a mission and purpose of love. I feel like you're not that old as well. Am I right to say that? Can I ask you how old you are?
According to my oldest child, who is 17, she thinks I'm old. So how old
Okay.
do you think I am?
I hate this question. I'm not good with this. I feel like I always mess this up. Let's say you're 90.
Do I look that old?
Yeah. You look like you're in your
Thank
20s.
you. A lot of people do say that. I'm actually 34. I'm 34.
Wow. Okay. So at 34, preaching what you do and sharing what you do, I feel like you've been through a lot.
Yes.
Can I say it that way? Okay. What has made you go through a lot and stand and preach about it? What makes you want to do what you
I was
do?
not going to cry, but it's
Yep, good. Allow it.
I just want to help people. That is all I want to do, because the things that I have been through, I got pregnant when I was 16. I got married when I was 16. I have been through marriage. I've been through divorce. I've birthed 4 children. I have another one that I have gained by the grace of God through the court system. But I've had some dark times in my life.
Yeah.
And I've been to therapy for years and years. I have been to the point where I didn't care about living anymore. Because I was basically too focused on, I guess you could say, trying to save my husband at the time, who was on drugs, cheating constantly. There was every type of abuse possible. He was also an alcoholic, which basically, if you were to, ask anyone, you might as well classify me as I became an alcoholic as well.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Mere
So,
reflection, right? Yeah.
That was, I think, the darkest time in my life. It started in like 2018. And it went on for about 5 years.
Wow.
About 4 years. And like I said, I got to my lowest at that point. And it was, I finally had to pick myself up, choose myself and my kids, and get therapy in order to live and finally leave. Or I don't know if I would be here today. So,
yeah.
Wow. Since the age of 16, there has just been every form of abuse possible. I've been to jail. I've lost my kids. I have fought to get them back. My oldest 2, not the one through the court system, but my oldest 2 that I birthed, too. My oldest son will be 17 next week, and my daughter is 14. They actually still live with their father full time, because of when I got in trouble 12 years ago. Um,
Wow.
so I I like to say that I've literally just been through the ringers, um, by the grace of God and my
Yeah.
husband now.
Wow.
I'm still here and I'm better than I've ever been. Um, I've
Wow.
been married to my husband now. We got married December 30th of 2023. November the 12th of this year, I will be 2 years sober. No alcohol.
Wow. Wow.
My husband definitely helped me do that. My husband my husband helped me through a lot. Um, he's
Yeah.
the only person that I've ever been with that is not an alcoholic or a drug addict or a cheater. Um,
Wow.
he is the person that I prayed for so many years.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
going
I I don't want to cut you off, but I want to say something. I hope you what I preach in the world is about becoming who you desire and getting what you deserve based on becoming what you desire. And all I'm hearing from your fall to your rise is, my beautiful friend, you've taken everything you've been through and become a different version, which has brought in something so magical. And yet your heaviness and the grief you've gone through to get there is
yeah,
profound.
my therapist likes to say that I'm very resilient.
Yeah, I love and
I
hate that
know,
word all at
right?
the same time.
Um, I have turned my pain into power, I like to think.
Good for
Um,
you. Wow. You
so
have.
sometimes I can talk about it and not cry. Sometimes I'm like super strong, and then sometimes I
Yeah.
break down. I feel like I'm living. Of course, I have bigger dreams and goals, but I feel like now I am living the life that I want to live. My dreams and desires and goals are coming true. Instead of praying, God, please help me. Um, you know, don't let my husband cheat on me or beat me, or don't let him hurt me.
Wow.
Please help me. What do I do? Make me stop loving him. Instead of those prayers, I am, God, thank you for my husband. Thank you for my
Yeah.
family. Thank you for my
Wow.
blessings. God, please heal everyone around me. My prayers have totally changed. Um,
Yeah. So let me ask you about that, because it's the prayer and the change, right? So there comes a moment for many of us in which the amount that falls to the ground, and I too have fallen to the ground differently than you. Your courage to share that out loud in front of me with the emotion that you've had is, I feel very, I have a lot of gratitude for how you showed up. So thank you, because there are so many also going through the same as you right now with very little courage to speak that out loud. And you're about to help so many do it differently. But my question to you is, was there a wake up call? Was there a moment? How did you decide and make a choice? I hear God in your language a lot, and I love that. What was the moment? What was the way forward? How did we bounce?
so when I left my ex-husband, the straw of that day was he was wanting to leave and go get high with his friends, and he was refusing to let me go because of what he was going to do. And we were in the driveway fighting, and he was just refusing to let me go. My kids were visiting their dad. It was his visitation time, so they were with him at the time. So it was just me and my husband. And, I'm like, let me go with you kind of thing. And he wouldn't. And he was screaming and cussing at me in the yard. And he ended up shoving me to the ground. And he was like, I'm not going to tell you one more time. You're not going with me. And there was these two old ladies that lived across the street, and one of them was outside, and she was like, is everything okay over there? And he looked at her and he was like, yeah, everything's fine. And I'm on the ground. And I was like, you know what? Go. So he squalled tires, spun gravel out, leaving. And I was like, you know what? This is it. When I tell you I tried for years, I can't even begin to tell you the stories that had happened, from him disappearing for weeks at a time, the cheating, the being confronted from other women like in my inbox and stuff and showing proof. I had went through his phone myself when he was blacked out. Uh there was so many things, like the mental, the physical, emotional abuse. I mean, he put a loaded gun to my head. Um, it was, I mean, I couldn't keep a job because of him. It was constant anxiety. I was literally checking his Life 360 basically 24/7 when he was not there. Um, I lived
Wow.
in anxiety and panic and fear. And
Yeah, I bet you did. Yeah.
my best friend she tried to help me through this. I could literally talk for hours about these years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was literally like, God, please help me, because I'm going to end up dying, whether he does it or I do it.
Yeah.
And I chose to start therapy.
Yeah.
My
Wow.
therapist, I mean, I'm sure she was ready to strangle me, honestly, because she would preach to me during our sessions, and then, I don't do what she says. That went on for months. Finally, I was like, I choose me.
You
I
heard
choose
her.
my kids. I got to go. So that day I packed my stuff. I left. I left him with everything. Well,
Go.
I got myself into a
Wow.
situationship where I was basically this guy's maid and bank, for him and his kids.
Wow.
That went on for over a year. Um,
Yeah.
I have always wanted marriage and a family since I was a little bitty girl. That
Yep.
was my fairy
Yep.
tale. Um,
Yep. Me
that was
too. Me too. The right
yes,
marriage
and
and family.
he didn't want what
Yeah.
I wanted. All my friends and family that had met him, they were like, he is using you, and look at how he talks to you, and he won't commit to you, and look at the things that you do for him, and like he takes advantage of you. And it just went on and on and on. He was an alcoholic as well, so that did not help my drinking. So we drank
Wow.
together every day, and
Yeah.
I literally I functioned. I you Looking back now, um, you can
Yeah.
classify me, I was a functioning alcoholic. Like, it didn't matter
Yeah.
what time I
Yeah.
started, what time I finished. I was a functioning alcoholic. Like, I could drink myself sober because it was just my norm.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
and so,
Yeah.
I mean, I done everything that I needed to do. I cooked, I cleaned, I took care of my kids, his kids. I got a job, I was working. I had got a new car because my car had blown up. I got me and my kids an apartment. I furnished my
Yeah.
apartment completely because I had left everything with my ex-husband because, I just wanted out. So I had started over from the very bottom. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I had got myself in this situationship, and, I was continuing. It was like I left one crappy marriage and got myself in a crappy situationship. And so I was continuing to cry and pray to God. And I listened. Jelly Roll was my man. Jelly Roll was my
Okay,
man.
Jen.
When I tell you, I would listen to his songs over and over and cry. And um I would stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Like after I would get the kids and everything to bed, and I would just listen to music and talk to my friends, and it was just an ugly time too. And I was continuing to pray. You know, this isn't the life that
Yeah.
I'm wanting to live. It was just those same prayers. God
Wow.
help me, just for my dreams and desires. And um this guy had, I mean, he had started trying to write me, and I was ignoring him and everything. And he kept on and kept on. And me and my friend were at the lake one day, and he was writing me, and so I was talking to my friend about it and everything. And like the situation I was in, he wouldn't commit to me. He just would not commit to commit to me. He would not let me put on social media that we were in a relationship together. He would not do it.
Wow.
I had actually snuck and got his phone when he was blacked out one day, and I had never touched his phone in over a year. And it was just like, if I posted a picture of him on social media, he would like freak out and everything. But like, I had met his friends, his family. I mean, like, we pretty much like lived together. Um
Yeah,
yeah,
but
and
it
so
wasn't
like I went
yeah,
through his
yeah,
phone, and when I tell you cheating, if not worse than my ex-husband, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, now that
yeah,
makes sense." So,
yeah. Well, you start
yeah,
to put it all together, right? Like, it's clear you went from one to the next, almost the same,
right.
hoping for different,
Yeah,
and yet
right.
led you the
So,
same path.
the guy that had continued writing me or whatever when I was at the lake with my friend one day, so, I had wrote him back or whatever, and we started chit-chatting and everything. Well, I ended up spending the night with my friend that night, and he stayed on the phone with me all night long, like all night, like I was a little teenager again.
Wow.
And he had to go to work
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
day and everything. I had went to Little Caesars in Hartville, Georgia, and I had posted on my Snapchat
yeah.
like where I was, just like a picture or whatever. And he slid up on it, and he was like, "Oh, so you're in my town and you're not gonna see me." And so I'm like, "Oh my goodness," like my anxiety was so bad still at that time. Like, I really wouldn't even go into stores by myself. Like, I need to go
Yeah.
get groceries, and I pull
Wow.
in the store and I'm like, never mind, I don't need groceries that bad. Um, like,
Yeah.
my anxiety was terrible. And so I'm like all giddy and everything. And I'm like, well, I guess we can meet. And so, I'm like, public place. Um, so we met at Arby's, and I was on FaceTime with my friend at this time. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to meet him. I need you to stay on FaceTime with me in case something happens. And so, I met this guy. We met at Arby's in Hartwell and chit chatted for just a few. And I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go now. So we left. We kept talking. He ended up coming to my house a couple of days later, and he never left. And that is now my husband.
Wow.
Um, so
Wow.
I was still
Wow.
drinking when we got together. He did not
Yeah.
drink. He did not do anything. And
Yeah. Good. He's the type of man that you pulled in as a result of the
yes.
growth that you gave, which is a
And,
magical thing.
you know, I liked it because that's what I had always prayed for. I wanted a sober man.
No.
I wanted that person. That's just the type of person that I prayed for. But then, like I'm drinking, and like he wouldn't drink, and like I mean,
Yeah.
he put up with me drinking and stuff. And then um it was like I just gradually got that desire of, okay, I just like don't want to do it anymore kind of thing. But
Yep. I
then
get
I
that.
would have the urge. I wanted to drink. I just craved the alcohol. Um, and so, he had talked to me about stopping, and, we had fights about it. And I would drink behind his back, and he would find out. He would find my cans or something somewhere. We had arguments. He had threatened to leave a few times because I had lied to him about it, you know. I told him that I wasn't drinking, and it was just something that I was struggling with because basically I was an alcoholic. Um and so
Yeah.
he went through those motions with me. I mean, there were times where
Wow.
he held me and I cried. Um it was
Yeah.
it was a day-to-day thing. And so
Yeah.
I finally got out of it. It took a few months,
Wow.
but like I said, November will be 2 years that I'm sober, and
Wow.
I can thank my husband and God for that. Just my husband. Yeah.
Yep. And yourself. And yourself. I think, as I hear your story and we're getting to the end of part one, first of all, a gratitude for the vulnerability. I mean, I know so many people will hear your story and feel your sadness and hear themselves. So that's a lot of gratitude for that. The second piece is the mirror reflection. What we get is who we are. And what I've witnessed and heard in your story is the more you chose yourself, the more you got towards the mission and purpose that
Yeah.
is you in the now. And that was brought in. And that's the work you did on yourself, right? There's no one else to be accountable
Yeah.
for except
And
ourselves.
like,
And you
yeah.
did the work.
And so when I was in that situationship, I was sort of also like independent as well because, you know, I did have my own place and stuff. And
That's
so
right.
I had become independent. Uh, and I was still going to
Yes.
therapy and stuff. And so, like, there are times now, my husband, he's like, you know, you're not an independent woman anymore. You know, you are married and you do have me. So you don't have to act independent. And
You know,
I'm like, yeah, I know. But let me tell you, like, I don't need you. I want you. And I can do this on my own because I proved that to myself all the years and the times and the
you
hours and the
did.
days that I bawled crying to my best friend. I can't live without him. I don't want to go on without him. I can't do this. Girl, if I could tell little old me, girl, you are stupid. Like, you can do it and you will do it. You just have to, mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. And
And I think I want to pause us because we're to the point of part one being finished. And I want to leave that for the next one because it is so magically clear to me to watch the emotion and then the shift that just happened. And I think that's the greatest place to pause because what you're showing is that mindset is everything. What you're showing is resilience is everything, even though we hate that word. What we what you're saying is the more you choose yourself, everything comes forward. So if we are to leave this moment of the now with the story you just shared and say one thing to my listeners of this moment, of what you felt and what has catapulted you forward. I know you said mindset. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish this one
I
to
would just
move to the
say
next?
at the end of the day, always choose yourself, love yourself, put yourself first because at the end of the day, you are all that you have. Anyone, your children, your family, your husband can leave you in a split second. So you have yourself. You have to show up for yourself.
Oh, I love that. So, with that said, part one with this beautiful human, Kimberly Smith, is done. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
taking the time. And to my listeners, I hope that you heard something that made you feel something because at the end of the day, no matter what your story looks like and feels like, it is an emotional energy that we carry. It is a grief that we carry. And what's clear with Kim in the way we ended this is what happens after
Yes.
that is what matters most. And so part two is about what happens as a result. So thank you, Kim. Thank you to my listeners. Bye for now.
If this podcast resonates with you, it would mean the world to me if you would download my book, Listen to Your Fucking Heart. It's available as an ebook or hard copy on Amazon, and the link is also found in my social media bios. This book shares my perspective and story about hitting rock bottom over and over again and finding myself again. I wrote it with a purpose and a mission to help so many people who are looking for guidance as they try to empower themselves forward.